Tory Lanez was stabbed during his 10-year sentence right now in jail against Megan Thee Stallion. He was stabbed and almost killed, literally attempted to be killed. For reference, this man is serving time for an assault with a semi-automatic firearm, carrying a loaded and unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and also discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Technically, he is not in jail for assault or attempted murder on Megan Thee Stallion. For more context, people get that confused. They forget to realize that. And this was the post on Tory Lanez's page. His team said that he was stabbed 14 times, including 7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of his head, 1 to the left side of his face, and both of his lungs collapsed. And he was placed on a breathing apparatus, and he is now breathing on his own. The nurses told the father, basically, like, this is rare. Like, it's a damn near like a miracle. Like, this is amazing. He's recovering really good. They have confirmed that the inmate who stabbed Tory Lanez has been identified as Santino Casio, who is already serving life in prison with the possibility of parole. This man seems to be like a Mexican gang member. Fucking crazy. Right? What is someone saying below the tweet? Please note, let me see. Please note that he was convicted of killing a 13-year-old girlfriend. He was 20 and she was 13. This man that allegedly did this to Tory, right? Also, aside from that, we have the major update. Coincidentally, days later, now we have Tory Lanez's legal team making a press conference, new statement, saying that they have new evidence now because they spoke to Kelsey's bodyguard and driver, Bradley James. Kelsey Harris is Megan Thee Stallion's ex-best friend. Kelsey was in the car with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion the night of the incident. Confirmed. Her bodyguard and driver, Bradley James, has now come out and spoken to them after Tory Lanez got stabbed in jail, and he is claiming that Kelsey was the one who shot Megan. His team is claiming that he is innocent, that it was actually Kelsey this whole time that shot Megan, etc. This is insane. Because the thing is, in my opinion, if it comes out to be true that Megan Thee Stallion lied under oath and that Kelsey, her best friend, was actually the one that shot her and not Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion's career is done. Nobody was going to want to work with Megan Thee Stallion ever again. It's insane. Because it's like, what the fuck, right? But I'll tell you this much. Shout out to Megan Cuniff. She made a good point I saw today. Because these are people who have more expertise on legal things than just us here potting. But she says that this claim wasn't filed in an actual appellate case. So it's not going to factor the actual current case. It wasn't filed in an appellate case. It doesn't have to do with the actual current case, what he's serving, and et cetera. You know, it's just separate from that. And that she said that he didn't deserve what happened to him, the stabbing, et cetera. But there's actual, obviously, violence in the prisons. Niggas talk about this shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, of course.
You know, I've spoken to people on the phone while they're in jail. This is a thing. The issue is this. Why does this happen in this pattern? Tory Lanez gets stabbed, almost killed in jail. A day later, 2 days later, new evidence from the bodyguard. In my mind, I don't know if this is how it really happened. I have no evidence. But in my mind, it played out as this bodyguard saw Tory Lanez almost die in jail, felt bad, like, fuck. Oh my God, let me talk. And he's like, and he told them, oh, I overheard Kelsey on the phone admitting that she was the one that shot Tory. Because that's what he said. He overheard a conversation on the phone. That's the evidence that they have so far. They spoke to him, that he said that, etc. But God forbid Tory Lanez died. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the nigga would have felt even more worse if this was what happened. Because the fact that Tory Lanez is still alive is also pretty wild. It's a miracle. Imagine Tory Lanez out of jail. Scars, stitched up, and they say he's innocent now or whatever. He gets was it when you're in jail and they take you out? What's it called? I forgot the not a mistrial, but obviously because you're in jail. It's a term, but let's just say he gets freed, right? This nigga would be the biggest artist in the world. This would be the biggest celebrity in the world. This would be the biggest thing in the world. But that's in the perfect scenario for him. His father, I saw the whole 20-minute press conference about his father. He was like, yo, we've been quiet, but God told us not to be quiet. His father's a minister. He's like, we've been quiet, but God said not to be quiet anymore. This is happening, etc. We just got to let God do his job, etc. He's been pleading his son's innocence from day one. We don't know these people. We don't know what really happened. I'll say this. Tory Lanez is in jail. Currently in jail. It's not for officially assaulting Megan Thee Stallion. That's not the charge. But it's because of that night, the incident that happened with Megan Thee Stallion.
And having the gun.
Right? That shot Megan Thee Stallion. But let's not act. We would be naive, right? We would be extremely naive to pretend as if even after he's in jail, there still hasn't been a sense in the public narrative and just the energy as if something might have been fishy about the case. Not saying that he was completely innocent, but that there was like a sense of something being weird. And I think it's because of Kelsey's behavior, the friend.
Why didn't he take the stand then?
That's what I don't understand.
Because
why not take the stand? Why doesn't Tory take the stand?
Vlad made a great point on Twitter today. God bless Vlad. First great point. He said, you want me to believe that his freedom was on the line and he decided to not take the stand knowing that that was Kelsey's gun and that's actually what happened because he wanted to abide by street code? Who the fuck is Tory Lanez to be abiding by street code?
Because what's the street code? Don't snitch on a bitch. Don't snitch on a woman.
Don't snitch on
women
nobody.
and kids.
No,
don't snitch on nobody. Yeah, but
don't be a snitch. So don't take the stand. Don't do nothing. What gang is Tory Lanez?
Umbrella Gang, nigga. The fuck you talking about? Represent the umbrellas. You know about Umbrella Gang? You know Umbrella Gang, Marlon? You know Umbrella? You know got Umbrella Gang? Mm-hmm. We got Umbrella Gang in here. You know, we got a couple umbrellas.
Okay, so yeah, this nigga ain't on shit. Yeah. And that's my point. That's my only critique in this situation is like, what's Tory's justification for that? Like, why didn't you take the stand then?
Yeah.
Like, what code are you abiding by? You don't got a code. You were like a small drug dealer in Toronto. What are you talking about?
And also, he did leave a comment on Instagram saying that Kelsey didn't do it. Right? So there's evidence against that as well already. So and it's also, why not just come out and say you didn't do it? But then we have other people saying it for him. Drake, close friend of himself. Drake said it. What was it? He said, that bitch lied about getting shots, but she's still a stallion, right? I think it was a song with Yachty, or one of those songs. I think it was the song with Yachty. Bitch lied about getting shots, but she's still a stallion. It's like, whoa, why would you say that, Drake? Do you know something we don't know? You know that she lied? Like, how do you have? Did they tell you behind the scenes? You know what I'm saying? Because why would he hold it down? What's the benefit of holding it down?
Because
let's think about it. Let's play that scenario.
Well, people are saying that the legal team told him not to take the stand.
Because it wouldn't work in his favor. That was televised too, right? I believe that was televised.
No.
No? I could have sworn I could have seen
outside was
Megan. Okay.
They were like recording them coming in and out.
That's what it was.
This is my thing. If that's the case, why? Like, if you feel like you didn't get proper representation, file a grievance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very confused. This don't make sense. That's why I haven't formulated an opinion on this case.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. But I'll tell you this much. I don't think the only person that it could get worse for is Megan Thee Stallion. It's not Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez already serving his time legally. Right? I'll tell you this much also. Him almost dying is fucking crazy. Bro, we got to be honest. Him almost dying is fucking crazy. Also, in my opinion, for him to shoot her in the foot, etc., let's play that scenario out, it's fucked up, right? But let's say it was a drunk night, etc. Would she want to wish him death in jail? Like, I hope you go to jail and die in jail. Meaning, if God forbid he were to die, I would assume that she'll feel horrible. Like, damn, like what?
She put a
the fuck?
restraining order on him. I don't think she cares if he dies. The nigga's in jail. She has a restraining order on him.
So you think that's the least of her worries? Any sympathy at all
No,
in this
I
situation?
think that's cooked, bro. It's over the moment you started putting her in songs.
Because my thing is, there's a play on here where it's perception. You are Megan Thee Stallion. You are Rock Nation. You are an entity. You are a business. You have a documentary to sell. You have a story to sell. Albums to sell, etc. You put this man behind jail. So perception is like, why would you ever show any sympathy? Doesn't mean that there isn't. There could be, because according to him, if you guys heard that album, like how I did with, I think with Eric, I heard it. I remember it was a love album. He was in love with her. According to him, he was in love with her, etc. And he thought maybe she might be in love back. So we don't know how deep that relationship went. But it just sucks that their careers now for the rest of their lives is tied to this incident. An incident that we don't, even though, yes, he was in jail, he's serving time for the gun, etc. He's not serving time for assaulting her, for literally shooting her. It's not the actual charge. Aside from that, we didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? We saw the documentary, we saw her story, we saw the animated version. We haven't seen a visual version, right? And then there's videos of her walking on glass, etc. And people are like, oh my God, she didn't get shot. She just walked on glass. And it's like, nah, bro. Both could have happened. She could have got shot and she could have walked on glass. Like, it's not a possibility either. Like, people be so dumb. They just want to think one way only. It's like, nah, bro. Try to be at least a bit objective. What if, she got shot and walked on glass? Because this video of her walking outside with no shoes on. This shit's crazy, though. This shit's really crazy. Tory, I'll tell you this much. I personally feel sympathy. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. In my opinion, the fact that he almost died that's crazy to me. That in jail, especially, niggas are trying to kill you, bro. A Mexican, maybe Mexican gang, like maybe it's a race war. We don't know what the fuck is happening, right? It's only gonna fuel conspiracy theories, though. Rock Nation paid a Mexican gang to kill Tory Lanez in jail. The conspiracy theories are online. People with this whole shit is only gonna fuel it. It's only going to fuel it. So if I'm them and I truly believe, if they really think that, oh, he's innocent, all this shit, etc., go full-fledged. Do multiple press conferences. Provide more evidence. Provide, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't just try to paint the public perception, but try to build it up to the point where you can get a legal action happening. Try to get this man out of jail, because if he's innocent and he's almost dying in jail, then what the fuck are we doing here? This should be a 911. This should be emergency. All hell break loose. Code red. Where the helicopters at?
You're funny.
Like, where the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Vic, this happens every day. It doesn't matter because it's Tory Lanez.
no, but I'm saying if I'm them, like, oh my God, if I'm the dad, he had a good speech, but I would have gone even crazier if I'm the dad. I would have been on the fucking floor crying. My son, but he's a minister, so obviously he has way more grounded faith and probably, you know what I'm saying?
Larry Hoover's still in jail. There's mad people wrongfully convicted in jail. Tory Lanez learning a very valuable lesson about life. It don't matter how famous you are.
This legal system be cooked.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And then let's say Tory Lanez serves his time, comes out, and then gives a story about how he was innocent this whole time, etc.
Doesn't matter.
Man, it sucks that it even happened. It sucks that it even happened. There shouldn't have been a gun in that fucking car. That they shouldn't have had a gun on them in that night at all. Drunk, never having any firearms while you're drunk or drinking.
This is my point, though. You're a felon. Why you around guns? Yo, ever since I got my extreme risk protection order, I've never been around a gun. People be like, let's go to a range. Try getting in a car with me with a gun. I'm like, I'm not getting in that car.
They think you're Baby Keem?
No.
Think you're a range brother?
It's like, bro, I'm not gonna feel sympathy because you put yourself in this. Like, I feel empathy, but I don't feel sympathy for a nigga who put himself in a position to end up like that. That's life, bro. You in California of all states, walk around with a gun and you're a felon. God bless.
Yeah, man. Listen, I pray for both of them because Megan Thee Stallion does have trauma. I remember her stories about her mother were crazy to me. Every time I hear those stories about her and her mother, the trauma with her mother and all that shit she went through with her mother and how it ties to her alcoholism. I see it. I know girls just like her who drink to cover up the pain. This shit, you know what I'm saying? This shit's real. But Tory Lanez also, we're not going to act like this is not insane. Like, it's okay to have an actual opinion about this and a reaction. Like, the nigga almost died. And the day after, now his team's saying he's innocent after being in jail. Like, what the fuck? And there's a lot of semantics with this where you got to read between the lines. Like, was he actually charged for, etc., the time he's serving, etc. Like, you know, it's wild. It's wild. It's very wild. But one man who said free Tory Lanez was Chris Brown. And within 24 hours, Chris Brown now has arrested himself. They gonna let me for my ambition. And that was a clip from our podcast, the Club Ambition podcast, Cap. If you're looking to watch the full episode, make sure to go check it out right now. It's available on audio and also on YouTube.